Hi friends, the movie we are going to review today is Paint. This movie got released in theaters on April 7, 2023, even though it was streamed in Regal Theaters as a mystery movie on March 20th. The movie is rated as PG-13 with a length of 1 hour and 35 minutes. The movie begins with a live telecast of a painting program by Vermont's #1 public television painter, Carl Nagel, with the viewers breathlessly hanging on every stroke.
What's in here and just splash it onto there. Don't worry, it's not rocket science.
Carl Nagel, with his tobacco pipe in his mouth, is seen painting a picture during his 1 hour daily session.
A little lost as we begin. Let's just take it all in. When's the last time you heard someone say something that interesting?
The painter successfully takes his viewers to a special place with him using his painting.
Like having the one you hold dearest, nearest when the world turns cold.
When he finishes his painting, he receives an overwhelming appreciation from everyone.
For going to a special place with me, Carl Nagel.
We see the Burlington Public Broadcasting Center manager, Tony, putting his jacket on him with another staff member taking his painting away. Everyone in the city seems to love Carl Nagel. The manager discusses the financial difficulties of the station with Carl and explains about his plan to extend the painting hours from 1 hour to 2 hours, which Carl seems to dismiss. On his way home, when he stops his van at a junction, he notices a road sign for the Burlington Museum. Carl always wanted his paintings to be displayed in the museum, but due to his fear of rejection, he never submitted even a single painting to the museum in charge. Carl decides to drive straight home instead of turning towards the museum. The next day, when Carl finishes his hourly program, he meets a young girl by name Ambrosia. She tells him that she is a big fan of Carl and then proceeds to the stage.
It is an honor to meet you, sir.
Wait, what's going on?
Hi, friends, and welcome to Paint with Ambrosia.
It takes paint to a whole new place.
Carl is surprised and shocked to note that a new program, Paint with Ambrosia, is telecasted without his permission. He is also shocked to note that Ambrosia completes 2 paintings in 1 hour. Contrary to Carl Nagel's nature paintings, on her first day, Ambrosia paints a UFO building with a lot of blood in it.
Good night, everyone.
I've never seen him that mad.
Jenna, one of the young assistants in the production team, having a crush on Carl, calls him out on a date and a sleepover. Carl, however, seems to have not come out of his previous love for Catherine, the program manager. While Carl dines with Jenna, we see both Catherine and Ambrosia dining in the same restaurant.
Jeez.
How is everything? It's good. Good, thank you.
We later learn that Ambrosia is actually a lesbian and having developed her love interest in a much older Catherine. Catherine tells Ambrosia that she likes her paintings and advises her not to let fame get the worst in her. On the second day, Ambrosia's program is seen by more people as they start to show interest in their paintings.
Hi, friends, and welcome to Paint with Ambrosia.
It takes paint to a whole new place.
When Catherine meets Ambrosia in her car at the end of the day, Ambrosia kisses Catherine, expressing her feelings. When Catherine goes to Ambrosia's house, she realizes that Ambrosia's mother, Mandy, is actually her classmate. With the love of Carl Nagel slowly fading away, even the team seems to show more interest towards Ambrosia. Once Carl Nagel's program ends, the center manager seems to remove him from the set rather than putting on his jacket. Also, no one removes his paintings but asks Carl to remove it himself. Carl starts to understand that people seem to show less and less interest to him, with both viewers and TV ratings climbing high for Ambrosia. Even when both Ambrosia and Carl compete in giving gifts to staff members, they seem to hate Carl's gifts. The next day, when Catherine informs about a bad article about Carl in the local newspaper, he tells Catherine that he doesn't care what people write on the newspapers, but actually goes to steal the newspapers from people's driveways.
And very sexist. You know I don't care what people say about me.
Carl then thinks of an idea to increase financial income for the station and asks the center manager, Tony, to allow bidding for a self-portrait with both Carl and Ambrosia. This idea also fails as it generates only $8,000 compared to the $300,000 required by the station. Also, Carl fails to draw the portrait of a physically challenged bid winner, which triggers an unnecessary dispute.
PBS Burlington.
Carl stole my newspaper.
Yes, we're aware that Carl is stealing newspapers. Please hold.
Tony fires Carl Nagel and tells him that he found a teaching job for Carl in a nearby college. He also tells him that they have all his old recordings and have plans to telecast reruns for the 65 plus age group who have shown interest in his paintings. With everyone losing interest in Carl, even Jenna tells her goodbyes.
My Uber is here.
I don't know what that is.
It's goodbye.
There is a funny scene where Catherine goes to Carl's place, seeing Jenna inside. She tries to hide in different places. Catherine is also questioned if she really has feelings for Carl when he had treated her like a crap earlier. Carl meets his students in a college, but has a bad start when a few starts to inquire more about Ambrosia than him or his paintings.
I've been going.
Awesome.
Tony also tells Carl that they cannot air his previous recordings because of a recent ban on tobacco. The next time he goes to the junction where he always sees a sign to the museum, he turns towards the museum and decides to go inside. After all these years, he hopes that they can display some of his paintings in the museum. The museum in charge doesn't show any interest in his paintings. On his way out, Carl sees the UFO painting by Ambrosia displayed on the museum. Back home, he destroys all his paintings in anger.
Artist instead of a woman who says really mean things to other women.
You were an artist.
Ambrosia is seen telling that Catherine can never love her as she never stopped loving Carl. Meanwhile, Catherine gets a call from PBS saying that they cannot hire her at the position they initially recruited her for because Catherine does not have a college degree. Catherine decides not to move out of her current position. Carl comes back to the studio one last time and paints one more painting. He then leaves for his friend's barber shop to cut his hair short. His friend says the cost is on the house and also gives him some medical marijuana for free. Carl on his way out also gets his hair as a souvenir. Back at home, he consumes the drugs and sets his house on fire accidentally. Catherine comes at the right moment to save his life. She also goes in one more time to his van to get his last painting, which is a portrait of her. Carl wakes up next day morning at Catherine's place and learns from the news that he has been declared dead because of his hair found in his burnt house. All of a sudden, there is a big crowd in front of the museum inquiring about Carl's paintings. With Carl being declared dead, the value of his paintings soared up in the market. Tony even jumps into a dumpster to recover one of the paintings that he had previously thrown out. Ambrosia is seen dating another colleague from work, Wendy, and Ambrosia later learns that Wendy is a classmate of Ambrosia's grandmother. Carl, to thank his barbershop friend, drops one of his paintings at his doorstep and decides to stay with Catherine to live a happy life in hiding. The character Carl Nagel is inspired by a real-life character Bob Ross, painter and host of The Joy of Painting, an instructional television program that aired from 1983 to 1994 on PBS. The movie is about a talented person who takes his talent to his head filled with inflated ego. He realizes his place only after he gets replaced by another talented person. To summarize, the movie will be suitable for classic movie lovers and for those who like to spend some quality time in a calm drama come feel-good movie. Do enjoy this movie in theaters. Have a great day.
I thought it was really good, especially for what it was, a movie about like a painter, going through relationship problems and finding himself. I think it was like an 8.5 out of 10.
Okay, and what is the specific thing that you like about the movie?
I think it was very unique. The comedy in it wasn't very generic. They used unique jokes and humor, and the premise of it and the theme, and the life message of it, I think I don't think I've ever really experienced from a movie.
Okay. Are you a painter yourself?
Not at all.
Okay, but do you love painting?
Yeah, I think I appreciate art.
Okay. Okay. And in a rating of 10, what do you think this movie is at?
For the genre that it is and for the plot, like what the plot is, I think it's an 8.5 out of 10. And I think they did a really good job with it.
Okay. Thanks for the review.
Yeah.